Hi, I'm Paul Johnston and welcome to Two Wheels, and later in the show you can see Jeff going from Hinckley to Harlem. Well, not quite, he gets as far as Leicester anyway because he's riding Triumph's latest Bonneville America. This is Triumph's attempt to make it big in the US of A. 60s styling all wrapped up in 21st century technology. But first of all, welcome to Manchester on a freezing cold morning in January. We must be mad. Well, not really, we're here to have a look round this place. It's GMEX. And it's home to the National Motorcycle Show. Come on. Oh, that's a bit better now. It's a little bit warmer in here, but it's not much warmer, to be honest with you, because there's nobody here yet, because it's shut. Yes, the show is actually shut. It's not really open yet, but we've been granted an exclusive early pass to come and have a good look round. So come on, let's see what we can find. Being the first show of 2002, Manchester was a chance for people to cast their eyes over the latest hot machinery available for this year. And of course we weren't disappointed. If it was new, it was there on view. Very often at bike shows it's a problem looking for something new, particularly at this show at Manchester because it's January now and it comes very soon after the international show in Birmingham. But Honda have got something very new, and if you're a race fan you'll be interested in things like this. This is an SP2 here, used by Colin Edwards. That was used in the season 2001, so that's not new, we've seen that before. Over here, a Grand Prix bike. This is Ross's machine, and this is a bike, NSR 500, that he used at the start of the year 2000. So that's not you. We've seen that before. This is the thing I want to show you. This is probably the single most exclusive thing here at the show this year. It's a V5 engine, and this is the engine that Rossi will be using this year. Yes, this year's engine, and would you believe the number on that is 001. This is the first one. It's packed with technology, 5 cylinders, 3 there. This is the front of the bike. Headlamps here. Well, it doesn't have an headlamp, does it? But the fairing's there. 3 cylinders there, 2 cylinders at the back there. 5 different injectors there for the 5 cylinders with the little electrical connections on there. As I say, it's packed with technology. It's a 20 valve layout, it's 990 cc's, and it's producing at the moment between 200 and 210 brake horsepower. And would you believe that the whole machine only weighs 145 kilograms, which is absolutely staggering really. Super lightweight machine. The whole thing is actually only about the same size as a 250 bike anyway. Little 250 with all that power, imagine that. You know, very often production bikes follow trends that have been set in racing, and at the moment Honda don't produce a V5, but who knows, in the future technology like this could be in the showrooms for you to buy, and you can say you saw it first on Two Wheels. You know, you can buy anything at a bike show like this. You can buy the bikes themselves, and you can buy all your biking gear to help you along the way, and in fact I could do with some new jockey shorts. This looks like a good stand to me. Here we go now. Excuse me, madam. Oh, sorry, missus. Thank you. I'll just take this. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? You want to see some new Yamahas, do you? Well, this is the new 600cc Phaser. You'd be forgiven for thinking it's a 1000cc, but it's not, it's a 600. What they've done is they've changed the fairing on the front. The headlamps are now got more pointy lenses, so it looks more like the 1000cc. But that's not really what I've come here to see. I've come to see this, and I've taken the opportunity of the show being shut, because I guarantee you, in about 15 minutes, when the doors open, you won't get near this. It is, of course, the beautiful new YZF R1. Now, if you're into BMW cars, you'll probably be quite familiar with that name, AC Schnitzer. They've been making bolt-on bits and pieces for BMW cars for about 20 years now, but only fairly recently have they got into making bits and pieces for BMW bikes. That was quite fancy, that K1200 RS, but this is even fancier. This is the R1200C, the cruiser, their James Bond bike, and there's loads and loads of fancy bits and pieces on this, all done by Schnitzer. There's a fancy exhaust system, fancy footboards, but the fanciest thing of all are these wheels. Look at the size of them wheels, big, solid wheels. But would you believe, if you fancy a pair of them, it will cost you the best part of £2,000. This is a Peugeot Vivacity Scooter, or a Vivacity Scooter if you prefer to say it that way. Who thinks of the names for these things? I don't know. But anyway, there's a little story attached to this. It was donated by Road and Racing Motorcycles to the Variety Club of Great Britain. They decided they would raise some money with it, so they've had it signed by the entire Manchester City football team. Then they auctioned it on the internet. Bidding closed last night at midnight, and they've actually raised £2,000 for charity, which is great. It is signed, as I say, by the entire Manchester City team, apart from the goalkeeper, Nicky Weaver, because he couldn't get his hand to it. And in fact, the back tyre has been signed by the entire Leicester City squad. And as you can see, it's going down. There's always a great display of classic machines here at Manchester, loads and loads to look at, all beautifully restored, all lovingly restored, back to pristine condition. But this one here in particular is worth a mention. It's a Triumph T120 Bonneville, 1961, actually owned by a good friend of mine called George. He lives near me, George. He bought this brand new in 61, 3 years later, 64, he sold it. Then 30 years later, he thought, blimey, I wish I'd never sold that old Bonneville, it was a cracking bike. So he tracked it down. How he did it, I don't know, but he tracked it down and he bought it back. And since then, he's had it put back to its original condition. It is absolutely superb, and it actually won Best in Show here on the Classic Bikes 2 years ago at Manchester. But if you like the old Bonneville, you don't have to buy an old one. You can actually buy a brand new one. And here's Jeff on the very latest Triumph Bonneville America.
"12 months ago to the day, I tested the new Bonneville, a modern-day version of a biking classic.
Now we've got this, the Bonneville America, designed to capture a bit of that growing cruiser market. But will it?
Well, it certainly looks the part. It's long, it's low, and it's sort of mean. The problem is, looking super cool in California is one thing, being very cold in Leicestershire is another. But that would be a problem for any cruiser. Use your imagination instead, think sunny, and you could be in for a pleasant, if not soul-stirring ride. No V-twin, just a big, softish 800cc vertical twin.
But in fact, it's actually a different engine to the normal Bonneville. If you listen to the exhaust note, you can hear a sort of pucker, pucker, pucker. An uneven exhaust note. I'll just turn this off a tick. The ignition switch is in a funny place, by the by. But what they've done, as I said, the engine looks the same, but the normal Bonneville fires on a 360-degree firing order. So every time it comes round, fires. This one's on a 270, and they've done that quite deliberately to give it a bit of character. So you do get this sort of bucker, 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 a bit Harley-like, but it's still that twin. In there, you've still got your twin balancer shafts to make it nice and smooth. They run front and back there. You've got carburetors here with electric heaters in to stop icing. Strangely enough, you actually need it on a day like today, because it's absolutely freezing. In fact, I could do with heaters on my ears, it's so blooming cold. Down there, you've got an oil cooler, and again, you hardly need that on a day like today. It's basically an air-cooled engine, but there is an oil cooler there. You've got lots of little styling cues on this, like this, that looks a big casting covering the gearbox. It's not the gearbox on this one, that's on the other side, but it's covering the final drive sprocket. But it looks very neat.
But it all works very well. It's a torquey motor that means you can chunter away from 30 in fifth until the big white speedo hits around 95. That means around 90% of the torque is available from a lowly 2,750 revs. Also on the cruiser style, you can feel that engine beat along the way, all designed to give it a bit of a rough-edged character.
Now, talking of character, if it's a cruiser, it's got to have style, and I reckon the America's got bags of it. Just look at these front forks, absolutely enormous covers up here, stainless steel, nickel sort of finish, but looks really neat. Kicked out forks, big valance guard there, very deep well onto the rims here. It gives you plenty of stuff to polish up, but a very cruiserish fashion. Big single disc there. That's all you need on a cruiser after all, like this one. It's not a high performance bike, is it? Here you've got big fatty exhaust pipes as well. These are double skinned, so these won't be going blue after a few miles. Swooping down here past the old obligatory foot forward pegs, you come to this very long silencer, all in one smooth run right to the back, slash cut silencer, all looking very low, very cruiserish of course. Talking about cruiserish, the frame itself is lower on this. You've got a 720mm seat height, which brings it into sort of the same realms as many other cruisers. Nice and low, you feel as though you're in the bike. Up here, it's got a big fat rear valance here to the rear guard. Again, all this cruiser theme all the way through with a little pillion squab up there. Laid down rear shocks, as I'm sure you can see. Again, it's all this theme, isn't it? All the way through. all ending up on this 15-inch rear wheel here with this absolutely massive 170 section rear tyre. It looks like an absolutely enormous big American donut.
Now, handling on a cruiser always feels odd to me, although a plus point for this one is that it doesn't touch down on every corner. But if you're used to riding other bikes, cruisers feel a bit remote, and this is no exception. Nothing wrong with it, you just need to retune yourself, lie back and enjoy it type of thing. And you can, because although the suspension looks very retro, it's perfect for the job and gives a really comfortable ride. The America comes in red with silver or black with silver, and it'll set you back £6,349 on the road.
If you like talking bikes, then why not join in with our bike forum? You can find it on the Men and Motors website, and here is the address. It's www.menandmotors.co.uk. Join us after the break for more from this year's National Motorcycle Show in Manchester, when the doors will be open and the place will be packed. Welcome back then to this year's National Motorcycle Show from Manchester's GMEX, and as you can see, things are getting rather busy. Huge queues are building up and the tickets are selling like hot cakes. So join us now as we go through the doors for some more of this year's action. Now I thought we'd just pop over and have a look at our friends, the Street Fighter Owners Club. Always some fantastic creations on this stand, and they are creations. That doesn't look really like a Street Fighter, does it? It looks like a standard bike. It's a Buell. It's far from standard, believe me. It's got different swing arm, different wheels, different brakes, loads of other different bits and pieces. Here, GSXR, your classic sort of Street Fighter engine there. GSXR, but with a Kawasaki back end, that one. Kawasaki seat unit, nitrous injection as well, an award-winning machine. This one is a bit special. This is fantastic if you ask me. An XJR 1400 Turbo. It's for sale. You can buy it. It'll cost you £14,000 if you want to buy it. It's got gold on it as well, and that is proper gold. It's gold plate, would you believe? There's £5,000 worth of gold plate on that bike. Yours for 14 grand. Too expensive, eh? How about something a little bit cheaper? Look at this, an old sort of thing. You've seen this on two wheels before. This particular bike, a kind of retro Street Fighter. Suzuki GSXR 750J. It's a slingshot. Very nice. You can buy that one for £3,250. There's other ones, these GSXRs over there, not quite finished. Over here we've got Fireblades, we've got Triumphs, we've got R1s, we've got everything. I have to say, the best thing on the Street Fighter stand this year are the balloons. It looks to me more like a wedding show than a bike show. Very pretty. Now this might look like a little toy, but believe me, this is no toy. It looks great on there, doesn't it? It's a Mini Moto. Now, Mini Moto, if you're not sure about them, let me just show you this. This is a Mini Moto outfit. This is actually ridden by a couple of friends of ours, Spike and Judy. They are 5 times British Formula 2 champions, and they're also the current British Formula 1 champions. This is 80 cc's, about 17 brake horsepower, and it'll do about 70 miles an hour. That far off the ground, which is very, very frightening. But this is where a lot of top riders start Mini Moto. If I can quote you a couple of names, Mark Eccles and Chaz Davis. Mark Eccles and Chaz Davis both rode Mini Moto from being 12 years of age, and they grew up with it through the teens, then they moved on to bigger bikes. Davis now is riding GP 125 next year, and Mark Eccles has just been given a World Superbike ride on an SP2. And this is where they started, in Mini Motos. So if you think they're toys, think again. Now this is the cosy stand. This is where they sell things like this, neck tubes and lots of other items to keep you nice and warm because it's absolutely freezing out there and there is, believe it or not, still ice on the ground. But yes, we are going to have a stunt show. And today we've got some top riders. We've got Sonny Ferguson and we've got the trick wizard himself, Mr. Jason Finn. Also out there, we've got a man driving a car. But you just have a look who his passenger is. Yes, in case you didn't notice, the passenger was actually my little mate Wayne. That should keep him quiet for the next couple of hours or so, look rather pale if you ask me. Anyway, next up was the trick wizard himself, Mr. Jason Finn, the man who no stunt show would be complete without. What he can't do on a trials bike really isn't worth doing. For many people, the highlight of a stunt show is when the rider explodes the back tyre. And of course this year we had Sonny Ferguson to oblige.
Now here's something different. What? A boot, you might say. There's nothing different about a boot. Well, there is indeed something different about this boot, because the whole front of the boot is removable. So you take that off. There we are. Why, you might ask? Well, the idea behind it is you place your leg in there and you've got this neoprene that fits tightly round your calf. Then you put your leathers on the outside of here and in the back here, because this moves backwards. That's nice and easy. Then you bring this forward, which is a nice flexible plastic, and you put this then back in place, which are on little ratchets. You bring it in real tight, as tight as you can around your calf, I should say, and then you've got as good a support as you'll ever need on the bike, for safety obviously. It's quite a technical bit of kit, you've got to admit. So you would imagine, therefore, it will be particularly expensive. Well, it ain't, because it's around £120. And included in that £120 is an instruction book, because you need it. To think you need an instruction book and to how to put a pair of boots on your foot. Amazing. Now, some of you may indeed recognise this name, Arlen Ness. What do you know it as? Well, I know it as very smart, but very expensive motorcycles produced in America. Real lavish things, show-stoppers. Well, now they're producing clothing and they're making real lavish things and show-stoppers. Because look at these. This is a one-piece suit, but look at this. I want you to bring that to your attention. It's a bag fastened to the front on fixtures that go over your shoulder in a jacket. I mean, it's seriously fussy, but it may be very practical. There's this one that has got to be the fussiest and sort of innovative jacket you've seen for a long time. Strange materials, very squidgy, but air-tech, so obviously cool in the summer. I can't tell you an awful lot about it yet because these are sample products that are being introduced slowly but surely during the year. But keep your eyes open in the shops because I can imagine there'll be quite a demand for these. And you may wonder whether they do one in my size.
Well, that's it from another Manchester bike show. It's been absolutely freezing. I'd liked it to have been a bit warmer, but I've enjoyed it. But I'm going to grab some punters here as they come out, some guests, some visitors, and see what they thought of it. So here's some likely-looking characters here, some nice volunteers. Guys, hey guys, have you enjoyed the show? I just need to know what you think of it. Have you? Good day?
Yeah, it's been a good show,
Has it?
All round.
Has everything that you expected to see been there?
All the new bikes have been there.
Yeah?
I'm surprised Piaggio didn't have a stand up, being a scooter man is...
You are a bit of a scooter man, yeah?
I like the scooters, yeah.
Right,
I'd like to have seen the X9, the 500 one.
Right.
But apart from that, not a bad show.
What's been the highlight of it for you?
Getting the kit I needed,
Has it?
basically. Yeah,
So what have you bought?
just a new helmet.
And did you come here especially for that?
Yes.
What, bargain price?
Yeah, cheaper than it is in the shops.
Well, that's always worth coming then, isn't
Yeah.
it? Good stuff. Right, excellent. And no bike today?
No, too
Car?
icy.
Hey, too icy. Man after my own heart. Good luck. Well done.
Thanks.
Right, but have you bought any bargains? You've got a big bag of goodies there, so it must have been worth the visit.
Okay, start laughing.
I forgot. Oh, he's got a pink cagoule. Hey, what's that?
Well, I'm going to start competition trials again on Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
And I need something to keep dry in case it rains, so
Well,
I
that's
bought
all
that.
right.
And what a lemon.
Hey, well, it's all right. Hey,
It's all right, you laughing. You're not going to wear it. But it gets worse, because I've got the trousers to match.
Got the full kit. You've not got pink wellies or anything, no?
No.
Hey. Well, it's been...
Well, for 15 quid I can't complain.
Exactly, eh? Cheap and
10
cheerful.
for the jacket, and 5 for the trousers.
It'll do the job.
Yeah, that's
Right,
it.
well, I'm sorry it wasn't everything that you wanted.
Oh no,
I'm
no
glad,
problem.
you got your bargain.
But I got a bargain.
You'll come back next year.
I will.
Cheers.
Thank you for
Take
your time.
care. Have
Bye.
a safe journey home.
Cheers, boys.
That's what they thought of it. That's what these guys thought of it. I thought it was a great show. I thought everything that you expect to see there, all the 2002 models, they were all there. Even Honda's new Pan-European. You could go and even have a sit on it, and you couldn't do that at the NEC. That's it for Two Wheels this week. Join us next week when Jeff will be going for a ride on Ducati's S4 Monster. It's got a 996 engine, so it should be lots of fun. And Wayne is at another bike show with a theme. This time it's an off-road show. It's the Coventry Dirt Bike Expo, where there's everything for the off-road enthusiast. So we'll see you then.